Holy smokes, everybody. We've got three things to talk about when it comes to Tesla. It has to do with Tesla just firing somebody on their FSD team. We're going to talk about that. And then we got to talk about Tesla as an inflation hedge. And then I just want to say a little thing about Berlin, okay? That's what we're going to talk about in this video, brought to you by... This is on a channel by AI Addict. Shout out to him. Apparently... and allegedly, according to CNBC, he was just fired for his critique of the Tesla Model 3, his Tesla Model 3, and its behavior in crashing into a bollard. Now, fortunately, this bollard was a plastic bollard. I am going to show the video clip here. I'm going to add my own commentary. I'm going to tell you about my experience with FSD. And then we got to talk about Tesla stock, and the inflation hedge, and a little bit about Berlin. All right, let's go ahead and listen in here. We'll play this for about a minute. I'm going to give you some commentary. All right, here we go.
February 4th, I was driving my Model 3 on FSD Beta 10.10 in downtown San Jose. Weather is perfect, and so is visibility. Traffic is low. As I head north down Almaden Boulevard, the car makes a right turn onto West San Fernando Street. This is where the accident occurs, as you'll see.
Oh, fuck! Oh.
Now let's step back and go frame by frame. At frame 3 minutes, 28 seconds, and 19 milliseconds, this is my first indication of the vehicle's trajectory possibly going off course. At frame 329.02 is when I realized the indication of a possible collision with the green bollard. At frame 329.07 is when my brain decides to send a signal to react. At frame 329.12, you can see my hand start turning the wheel. This is also when I activate the brakes as hard as I could. You will then notice at frame 329.19 is when FSD deactivates on screen. At frame 329.21, the Tesla vehicle makes impact with the green bollard despite my attempt to avoid. Finally, at frame 330.01, the Tesla vehicle comes to a complete stop, bending the bollard to the ground. Luckily, it was only plastic.
Okay, few things here. First of all, social media took this really far. This clip, or a portion of this clip, pretty much went viral, especially on Twitter. And Tesla Q fans, that is the Tesla short crowd, and everybody who hates Tesla was talking about, ha ha ha, look how lame FSD is. Okay, first of all, it's a freaking beta. Second of all, most of the clips cut out the fact that the bollard bent over. Why? Because those bollards right here, if we didn't know they were plastic, they look concrete. And shout out to Gally from Hyperchange. I've seen him on his FSD videos almost driving into concrete barriers under the trains in Seattle. And I have personally been twice in an FSD Tesla vehicle, a couple older versions. And unfortunately, it does do some quirky things. Like, you really gotta assume it's gonna do some stupid stuff sometimes. It's still in beta. That is totally normal. Now, is that an excuse for it hitting a bollard? Well, yeah. It actually is, because the bollards, hey, they're there, but it is probably the hardest thing for the Tesla Vision to actually indicate these as cones yet. Now, soon they will. Soon they will. They've already picked up on labeling cones. In fact, now, and you can see this on screen here, none of these bollards are actually showing up as cones. They're actually almost invisible to the Tesla. And it's probably likely that this Tesla sees this lane, this sort of rectangle here is coming to an end, and it's trying to align with one of these right white lines here. This is a pretty miserable road design, in my opinion, because you don't actually have a continuation of this line here to imply that, oh yeah, this is the lane right here. It suggests that this maybe is just a marker on the ground, which is probably what the Tesla's seeing, that this is some sort of marker on the ground that doesn't imply you can't be there, and it's probably aligning to this side. Unfortunately, and I'm not trying to make excuses for the Tesla, it doesn't see the bollards. Now, we can see the bollards. Elon Musk's argument is that, hey, the Tesla vehicles should be smart enough to be able to spot objects like this and stop. Yeah, eventually they will. We're not there yet. So while we're in beta, I can't really blame the Tesla yet. Especially grateful that this was not a serious accident. We don't want to see fatalities or really bad things like actual accidents where airbags are being deployed, which obviously we know wasn't here. They talk about that here, how, hey, some people say this is an accident because we didn't have airbags deployed. Hey, look, it was an F-up. It's a screw-up. The car didn't see the bollards. There's some work to do. That's the reason we do beta testing, right? No excuse. Tesla effed up here in this, but it's part of the learning process for full self-driving. Bollards, I don't see them marked. Cones used to not be marked. Now they are. When I first bought my Tesla, I bought a Tesla 2017 Model X. It would not see cones or orange bollards. Now, it looks like it sees cones and orange bollards, but doesn't see green bollards. And it kind of goes to show you just how far full self-driving really has to come to be perfect. Now, thankfully, these were just plastic bollards, so the damage to this individual's vehicle was very, very low. The problem, and I'll show you
that's
that
a real
damage in just a
argument.
moment. The problem was, unfortunately, that this person was a Tesla employee. And by being a Tesla employee, he was fired, allegedly for posting this video. So here you can see the scratches here. Now, he claims that this is the first video accident caught on camera or full FSD camera on-camera accident. Caught on camera. Boy, that was really wordy, but whatever. And he doesn't really go as far as saying anything other than this is proof that there was an accident with FSD here. I think the only reason that this person could justifiably, if there's any justification for the firing of somebody for posting something true, is if they signed some form of company non-disparagement agreement, which most employees do sign. It kind of says, hey, like, you won't say anything bad about the company, even if it's true, which is bad because then it's kind of like, hey, but like, what about whistleblowers? Like, bad things should come out to public light. I mean, that's a form of censorship amongst employees. Yeah, it's true. Now, I'm grateful that this came out because now, like, hey, Tesla, label freaking green bollards. Like, this is a problem. I personally don't think somebody like this should be fired. For me, I think a more proper response would be like, dude, thank you. Thank you for pointing out that our system does, at least in this version, doesn't label green bollards. Let's get that fixed. But there's probably something about non-disparagement in this person's employment contract. We don't know. Maybe they can tell us, unless, of course, they signed an NDA after their departure from Tesla. Who knows? They're welcome to come on my channel and talk about it. I'd love to talk to them about their AI experience and their labeling experience while they were at Tesla working on the FSD team. But not a good look for Tesla, especially since CNBC is running their article suggesting, oh, well, Tesla's social media policy doesn't say you can't say anything bad. Sure, their social media policy might not say that, but their employment contract could say that. So probably a little bit more diving in there that has to be done. I will say, though, in the CNBC article, Tesla talks about how there's this tech loyalty kind of culture that you have, like thou shall not say anything bad about the company that you like or work for or whatever, right? I imagine this is really true. I mean, it's kind of like, showing an oopsie of like your clan or your guild, your group. It's kind of like, hey man, that's embarrassing. Don't put that out there. And that did go viral. I'm not trying to make excuses for Tesla. Again, I think that should have been met with a thank you. Like, hey, we fixed that now. Dude, here, we're fixing your car for you. I mean, how much is that really going to cost? The bumper? I don't know. Even if the scratches went through the paint, put a new freaking bumper on, okay? $3,000? Come on. Whatever. So, not a good PR image for Tesla. Oh well. I'm sure it's fixed by now. If it's not, it's obviously something they're aware of and will be fixed. This is not a big deal for the stock in the long term. But what is a big deal for the stock in the long term is the stock as an inflation hedge. And that's what we're going to talk about next. I do quickly, though, want to mention that I personally believe, and this is just my speculation, but I believe that one of the reasons I have not been invited to the Tesla full self-driving program, even though I have right now I have a 99 safety score. I had a 100 for about 45 days. Unfortunately, I drove to Disney, and driving to Disney through Anaheim traffic sucks. My safety score fell to 99, which I'm very, very disappointed about. But 99s and 100s are getting in the full self-driving program, except for me. I'm not getting in. I think one of the reasons I'm not getting into the FSD program is because I'm willing to say things that are not only bullish, right? I'm not just everything about Tesla is the best. Heil Tesla. I will say negative things about Tesla as well. And if it is true that there is that sort of bro culture, loyalty, clan style culture, then it kind of makes sense why I'm not in the beta. because I won't hold back. But I'll be truthful, like I was in this video. Like, that's called being in the beta. You know, it's part of the game, dude. That's the risk you take. Okay, so you got some scratches. Come on, man. I got my Tesla Plaid, and I already put a little dent into it because, well, the little front bumper hit a curb that a tree had sort of uprooted. I thought I'd clear it. Couldn't clear it. Oh well, can't really see it. You'd have to know where to look. So now, in other news, we have seen some substantial price increases from Tesla, including today. We had another price increase. When we go to just the purchase price raw here, check this out, folks. The cheapest Model 3 is now $47,000. And then on top of that, you're going to have to pay $12,000 now for the FSD, which is wild. Here's that $12,000 FSD, which you're not even guaranteed to get the invite for this. Remember, I paid this $12,000 for both my Model X from 2017, which they won't even let my Model X get in the program because it needs the interior camera to be installed. Which is really lame because they said they'd do that for free, but they still have never come around to doing that. Whatever, it probably never happened. So I bought the Model X. I'm sorry, I bought the Model S Plaid thinking, oh, well, that'll give me access to FSD and I could review FSD. No, but I'm not getting the invite. So I don't want to make this video about me just complaining about that. But this is expensive now. This means now you are paying for the cheapest possible Model 3 with the FSD, which most people are clicking yes to. Well, a lot of people are. It's pure profit for Tesla, right? That makes the cheapest version $59,000 with the FSD. Without, it's still $47,000. That's almost $10,000 more than what we saw last year. And folks, I have to tell you, that's a lot, and it makes me very excited. Here's why it makes me very excited. First of all, we're still waiting to July to get a Model 3 base edition right now. Model 3 base edition July puts us at about 3.5 to 4 months out for the cheapest Model 3. That means we've got plenty of demand. Elon Musk would not raise the prices if there was not enough demand. There's too much demand, too little supply, wait times are still too long. So what are they doing? They're raising the prices. You know what that's actually good for? Margins. Margins are probably going to go up to at least offset the cost of the inflationary pressures they have. More freight costs, as Elon Musk said on Twitter, higher costs in material and input costs. They're more than offsetting their input costs. So I would not be surprised for margin to either stay stable in this inflationary environment or potentially to even tick up. Why? Because they can, and consumers are willing to pay it. That makes Tesla unique compared to a company like Heinz for ketchup or Coca-Cola. These companies are coming out saying, hey, we're concerned that we can't raise prices anymore because people are going to stop buying our product. Tesla's different. Tesla's like, yo, we're going to raise prices and people are still going to buy our product. That actually makes Tesla stock, in my opinion, somewhat of an inflation hedge. Really like that. Now, if you do want to spend about $8,000 more to get the Model 3 long range, you could get it in about 2 months, which is kind of cool. Same thing for the Model 3 Performance. You're only waiting about 2 months for the Model 3 Performance. If we go to the Model X, you know, I have the Plaid. Personally, I kind of wish I got the Model X instead of the S because I gave my X to my dad, so now my dad rides my X. And I kind of miss my X because it has 7 seats. But unfortunately, if I wanted to get an X normal, like I have already, it would take me until January 2023. If I wanted to get the Plaid, it would take until October of 2022. So I'd be waiting quite a bit for a new X, which is kind of sad. Model Y, another very, very popular vehicle along with the 3 here. Great entry-level cars. Personally, like I don't recommend spending the money on the X or the S. See, these are the reasons why I don't get the invites to events or stuff because I'm just too realistic. I don't think it's worth the money to spend on the premium products. I would just get these entry-level Ys and 3s if I were, were looking at a car. Personally, I probably also wouldn't buy a car right now because I think the inflation is insane right now. Prices keep going up and stuff. But even if I say that, people are still going to buy these cars like crazy. May and September, cheaper is in September for the Model Y. Doesn't surprise me at all. The S is usually much more available. Less people getting the S. I get it. I really like my S, but I miss my X. Yeah, base model S is July, and the Plaid is sitting at only 4 to 10 weeks. Oh, so as little as a month. That's actually gone up That used to be a little bit less. So that's actually bullish to see that that Model S Plaid went up, because in December they were doing get in December, which is kind of good. Okay, now I got to make a little note about Berlin. So we're still waiting to hear about that environmental lawsuit regarding water rights, but there does, obviously Tesla got their permits complete for the Berlin Gigafactory. We'll see what happens with water rights. Hopefully nothing. But there was this really cool picture here, and this is more just for being silly, and then I want to tell you a little bit about my take on the stock again. This is such a beautiful picture of their lineup of the Tesla, what look like Model 3s here outside the Berlin Gigafactory. I mean, absolutely beautifully lined up like this. Really, really, really cool. And that definitely took a pretty chunk of labor here. I replied, the Germans would spend the time to line up front bumpers like that. That extra labor cost will hurt margins now. I'm being facetious here. It's a really cool picture, but it is true. The Germans would do that, and I'm allowed to say that because I am German. And so if they want me in Berlin, I can actually go there because I got a German passport. Anyway, I'm not going to get invited. So anyway, okay, the stock. Look, I have to say, in terms of tech, in my opinion, Tesla's probably still my safest bet. And I know people, they like to poop on me and say, oh, you're only good because you invest in Tesla. Well, at least I know when to invest in Tesla and when not to invest in Tesla, and when to sell Tesla and when to buy a Tesla. Yeah, maybe I do know Tesla, but whatever. So I've done really well lowering my cost basis substantially on Tesla. I mean, probably in the neighborhood of 20-25%, which is absolutely amazing. Probably even more. And I've been buying on the larger dips here. The thing that I like about Tesla so much, compared to the other semiconductor manufacturers or potentially other tech plays, is I believe that Tesla has the substantial negotiating clout to actually get the products that they need first. And unfortunately, that comes at a little bit of the downside to like Enphase. I think Tesla is more likely to get batteries before Enphase, which Enphase batteries are a big profit driver for them, right? So I really like Enphase, but I don't think they have the clout that Tesla does. Tesla's got the clout. I also think that the semiconductor manufacturers like NVIDIA, I think the Omniverse is a little overhyped. I think their self-driving is nowhere near the capability of Tesla's because they're obviously working in the automotive space as well. I think that it's really going to take the crypto economy or crypto prices running back up to really see the semiconductors move again. And that makes me a little bit more bullish, therefore, on Tesla. So that doesn't mean I'm not investing in things like NVIDIA, get my eyes on Taiwan Semiconductors, but I will say it just always goes back to good old Tesla. So I'm happy about Tesla. Not so happy about them firing AI Addict. If he ever wants to come on the channel, hit me up, slide in those DMs. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.